بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Traveller1. Today we're going to start the first revision, Module 1, Youth Culture. Now, as a revision, I don't think we don't have that enough time to cover the whole module, but I'm going to give you some tips. We're going to go through most of the main ideas, and you have to do most of the work on your own. Now, you have your book, you have the, for example, the grammar reference, you have the activities, you have the roundup, and I want you to follow certain, I'm going to give you some tips so it's easier for you to revise. Even without my help, you'll be able to do it, inshallah. Now, the best part of your book, or one of the best parts in your book, is the first page, which has the objectives. I'm going to show you, this is the page that you see on the screen. Now, these are the main ideas in Module 1. So for you to understand what are you supposed to cover, what do you want to focus on, how do you know the grammar, the vocabulary, the writing that you're supposed to go through before your test. These are the most these are the main objectives or the main ideas. Now, I'm not going to go through them. I want to show you. They are page 13. It's in your book, but I'm going to go through most of the parts, which are grammar, vocabulary, and the writing. Now, I have an idea for you. Even if you're visual, if you're someone who wants to write, when you have your revision, in order for you to be organized, so you know exactly the main points, this is just a tip for you. You can use a table like the one I'm showing you, number 1. You can use an organizer. I tried to do one, but I didn't want you to see my organizer and you think, oh, these are the most important ideas, because you have a lot. I'm going to try to show you one of the, let's say, the organizers at the end, the last day, inshallah. I will try to bring for 4 modules if I have time, just like a suggestion. But for you, for now, you can use your own handwriting. You can use the program. You can use your laptop, the Word. But it's very important for you to organize the ideas in each module. So when you study, you're more organized. It's easier for you to cover most of the ideas. Now, in your book, we have most of English books. They start with the simple and let's say the beginning of any English sentence. That's something that you use every single day, which is the present simple. Now, in your book also, page, as you see, 84, I use the grammar reference to write this table. This is just for example for you. If you want to write your own table, you can have the sentences in affirmative statements, you have the negative, you have the question, and the time expression. This is easier for you. This is how you should know the time, how you write a sentence, how you write a question, how you write the negative of any tense you study. So for the present simple, this is also the present progressive. Both of them are presented in the same way. I'm going to show you the third page, which are presented in your grammar reference. It's also affirmative, negative, and questions in the time expression. Now, it comes in your book like that. So I'm going to read it now with you. The first and second tables are from me. You can do the same if you want them to be separate, but in your book they presented them together so you know what is the difference between the present simple and the present progressive. Present simple is something that you do every single day. And if you want to say a sentence that, for example, your routine, like I work, I study, I eat, I live. If you want to know the difference, most of the tense of that tense, all you have to do is add an S to the singular. As you can see, if you want to change it into a question, you use do and does. If you want to ask a yes, no question, you start with the verb to be, which is do and does. And when you answer, if you have a WH question, you say, for example, the WH word, then you use also do and does. So this is just the table for the present. The second one is the progressive. And you have verb to be, am is an R, and you have the ing. You can see how they change it into negative and how you change it into a question. Very easy. I'm sure it's not difficult for you. We're going to go in details now in some examples, but this is just the page in your grammar, in your books, page 84. Go there and try to read and analyze in your own notes, most of these. Now, what I like about this, when I brought this, because I want you to focus on the time expression. If you have in the test, you have a question they want you to choose, or they want you to correct, or they want you to change into a sentence or a question, the key word here that will help you, because sometimes they put 3 tenses and all of them are correct, for example, or one of them is not correct. But let's say if you're not sure which time you want to choose, it's very important to complete the sentence and see the clue. Here I have the word today. Now, if you, for example, want to make sure, is it present simple, like every day, or is it at the moment, right now? You will see that today means now, okay? And you have other expressions like now, at the moment, these days, this week. So it means that you're going to choose is and going to the gym, which is the present progressive. Also, if you have, for example, a question, is your brother going to the gym today? If it's, for example, WH question, you want to ask about today, you say, when is your brother going to the gym? So it's so easy to make the question. All you have to do is switch. It's so easy to choose because you have something that's happening at that moment. This is the present progressive. If you want, for example, the present simple, this is something that you usually do. You have the words like often, every day, usually, always, on Monday. It means every Monday. This is my routine. So if you have that, it means that your brother goes every single day to the gym. It's present simple. If you want to make a question here, you have to think of the helping verb, which is in this case does. And when you have does, as we said, you have to take out the S because it's there. So you say, does your brother go to the gym every day? If you want to ask about the time, you say, when does your brother go to the gym? If you want to ask, of course, I didn't put that, but if you want to ask about the place, you can say, where does your brother go every day? It means in the gym. So it depends on the line. If your teacher or your teachers chooses, for example, a line like they will underline a word, certain word like every day or the gym or where a brother. It depends how you perform or how you make the question. Now, also the past simple. This is the third time or the third tense in your book. Simple past, very easy. I'm not going to say it's not easy. What I'm going to say, how you present sentences or how you write sentences in the past simple. If it's regular, all you have to do, as you can see in part 1, you have the ED. But sometimes it's irregular. And you have the table at the end of the book. You have the second column of that table with irregular verbs like buy, boat, for example, see, saw, and other verbs. When you make the negative, you are going to use the verb to be, did. If you want to make a question, also you need did. And you have the time expressions last week or yesterday. And be careful, when you use helping verb did, you have to take the verb to the first, the affirmative, the first part, which is without ed, or you take, for example, the verb without the not the second in the table. You take the first one, which is, for example, eat, or let's say see, and so on. Excuse me. Okay. Now the past simple, I have this picture from your grammar reference. Also, it's very, for visual students, it's very clear. All you have to do is study it with your eyes. You write down your sentences. You know how to change from sentences, affirmative, to negative, to questions. It's all there. So it's easier for you to focus and write. And they want you to look at the irregular verbs, and they put the page 49, which has a very long list, but you can go through them at home and take your time. Now, I have a clip. This is from your book. I like this because it has the tense, different verb. It's not regular. He says, we bought our house 5 years ago. If I want to change that sentence into a question, and you have bought, okay? It's past, second, and it's like I need to change it into a question. If I'm going to ask about time, when did you buy? Okay, so you're going to change the verb from the past to the same verb, which has the same form of the verb. Like for example, without here don't have ed, so it's not the second one, it's the first one. When did you buy your house? Did you buy your house last year? The infinitive here, which is buy, it is taken from the second to the, if you have that, for example, column, you will know it's not number 2, it's number 1. You take the verb to the first part of that verb. Okay, and you have time expressions that will make it very clear for you, because you know it's in the past. You have last week, last year, last night, ago, and you have certain year that's in the past. So you have to know how to change it using did, of course, in this case. It's very important for me to go through this very quickly with you because we cannot cover most of the information, but I'm going to show you just samples, just examples of these, how can they come, or how would you see it in your test. For example, here you have Saad not watch the game last night. Last night, I underlined last night because I want you to know this sentence is in the past. How would you negate that verb? And you have not here. It means I want the negative, and I want it in the past. You're going to say, he did not watch. Now look at the second sentence. Because he go to his parents' house for dinner. Also in the past, go will be he went. Okay? These are negative sentences, a sentence and a past sentence. Now also you have used to in your book. If you have used to, if someone is asking you to use the word used to, it's something that happened continuously in the past, but now not anymore. It's not happening anymore. And I want to say, if I use that word used to, it means it took me a long time. During that time, I did that for a long time, but it happened in the past and it's done. Now, it's very important. When you have used to, I want you to see what I wrote here, infinitive and verb. It means the verb without anything, no ending, nothing. The first part of the verb, the main verb means infinitive. It's like this. If you have walk, it stays walk, but you have to say used to before. So, and I want you to, this, I forgot the D, but it's used to walk, okay? We have the D, I think. Okay, the second one, or the, let's say the fourth one, fourth part, you have quantifiers. Now, you have a lot of explanation in your book. I tried to analyze it. I'm not sure if it's the same, like in your book you have it's a lot of information. I tried to make it as short as I can. You have some, any, no, much, many, a lot of, lots of, little, and few. In order for you to understand, you have to have examples. Now here they say use some with uncountable, nouns that you cannot count. I'm going to show you now how. And you have plural countable. Plural countable means, like, for example, in your book, here you have some ships, okay? Bananas, apples, sandwiches. These are, I can count them, and they are plural. You have S here. Uncountable, like, for example, rice and flour and milk, juice, you cannot count. So you use some. Any is used with uncountable also, like rice, for example, milk, and it's used with countable, plural, and nouns. Now, but it's here, you have to use it with negative when I use any, and it has to be used with questions. And I have two examples for you here. The first one, let's make, if it's here, as I said, countable and it's plural, you're going to say some. Here, because it's a question and I put like the question mark in red, it means it's a question. When it's a question, you're going to use any. Is there any meat? Okay. Now I put that in a table. I'm not sure if it's going to help you, but I try to gather as much as I can so you can study it. You can use your own table. You can bring, for example, you open the book and you analyze the information, but I try to do that, you know, as to help you. This is some information. These are the sentences from your book. Okay, examples. They say, is there any coffee? Any, it's a question. So I used any here, and it's here you have uncountable noun. Yes, there is have some. Some is used also with uncountable plural, uncountable nouns. Here, can I have some milk? Uncountable. It's a question also. Here, negative, no milk. Okay, there is no milk. How about biscuits? These are countable, but you have it in negative. Don't have any. Anyway, you have many, as much nouns as you can. Sometimes it's difficult for you to remember most of that. So all you have to do is read more examples, and you have to analyze, why did I put any or some, or what does it mean? Here you have countable nouns. With countable nouns like pencils, pupils, biscuits, bananas, you can use a few, some, several, and many, because you can count them. You say money. Uncountable nouns like sugar, salt, milk, coffee, money, flour, and cloud, you use a little. You can't count. Some is used for both, by the way. A lot of and much. Much is used with uncountable nouns. So I tried to put these for you, to help you. But you can have your own table, as I said, so it will help you more. Now this is just an activity, a sample. I didn't put a lot of examples because I don't want you to feel like I'm testing you or I'm giving you an exercise that may come, because it may not come, but this is just an exercise for you. There are very few, or a few, or a lot. Here, of course, few. Orange juice, okay. Is there, it's a question, any. More examples, more activities. I put the page for you so you can go and practice that, page 24. Now, in writing, now we finished the grammar. I know that it's a lot of grammar and we spent a lot of time here, but I want you to go through the exercises on your own and try to do it. In your writing, you have two writing in that module. You have to practice how to write a short paragraph presenting yourself. You can use linking words like and, but, because this is from your book. You can, if you want to write a paragraph now, so you have the ideas in your mind, when someone asks you to write about yourself, you can write, this is the most important idea that you should use in that paragraph. You should have your name, of course, your interests, your age, okay? Of course, you can choose not all of these ideas, but the obvious ones that everyone wants to know about you. Your name, your interest, your age, your life story, if you can share some of them, things you don't like, because I want to know you. What are you studying, if you're studying something, if you're going to a place in a holiday, if you, for example, of course you're living with your parents, but if you, for example, like to travel, your routine, it's up to you. These are not ideas for you have to follow. You can have your own ideas, but most of the time when you present yourself, someone wants to know your like and dislikes. They want you to know your routine, what you want to do, for example, in the future, and so on. So this is the first paragraph. In the module, this is what they ask you to do. There's another paragraph, but this one, you are describing someone else. Here, you have to use certain adjectives. They want you to write a paragraph about, for example, their age, their character, the style, for example, where did you meet them, and so on. Now, this is very important. You have vocabulary. I don't think we're going to cover most of it, but I'm just going to show you how you can cover. For example, number one, Samar can go. She can't stand. I can't stand her. She's rude. I don't stand her. I was never football. It's boring. If I don't like it, I'm never fond of. It means I don't like it. We were having a meeting when Jack suddenly, someone appeared. Also here, these are just examples. I always, at tennis, when you play a game, I always beat her. It means at that game. Lucy rarely reads science fiction books. She's into. It means that she likes. Okay. My brother is he does a lot of things during the day. He's very active. Saud has that to make friends easily. He's very outgoing. So he's what? He has the ability. Of course, these are just examples for you. I just gathered some of them. So if you want to practice more activities, page 24, do that. These are just samples for you. Try to go through the grammar, try to go through the writing and the vocabulary. These are the most important ideas in module 2. Inshallah, at the end of these revisions, I'm going to try to bring you an organizer so it's easier for you. Thank you.